Everyone, welcome back to the channel. In today's video I am going to show you how to use filament B4 custom data in a filament table. We will start with the dummy data that is shown in the documentation, and then I will show you how we can connect to our table to one live WordPress API to fetch and display the real post. So for that I am using my block site API. So in this video we are going to show this block data in our filament page, right? So let's dive in. So first of all, what we'll do is we'll just create a filament page WordPress blog, let's say. No, that's it. So we have already discussed how we can create the page, what are the methods for this, and how we can interact with this, right? So to create the table we need to implement hash table and use one thread that is interacts with table, and then similarly we will create one table method. So the table, and we will return table. So return type will be table, and here we used to have columns, right? And then the next thing we need to do is WordPress blog. If I go here, I need to use the $this table here so that that table can be viewed. So up to here we have already discussed. If you remember in the previous video when we were working, we used to use query. So the query means if we need anything from the database, right? So now since we don't need anything from the database, we have another method that we can chain here, that is records. So where we'll pass and we'll return an array, right? So you can create one method and then, sorry, I'm just type mistake, right? Function, its return type should be array, and then we will return an array here. So for now I'm just copying the code that is from the docs, that's it, and let me format this. So here you can see I have now three items in my array: 1 2 3, first item, second item, and third item. And to show it's the same thing. We just need to map this with the key here, title. So if I refresh in my page, I can get this and I can see the items. But similarly, if I import this again, copy this, and let me do it fourth item. So that's it. This is how we get this fourth item, right? So this is what we are talking about, the dummy datas. And I know you can refer to the documentation to view all the things, like how they are showing the columns, how we are doing the sorting. So if you check the logic for sorting, it is in the collection, and then we are just sorting by our code, right? So meaning not by the API, but it's from the code outside. Similarly for searching and all other thing. So but you can also view the exact way for the fetching data from an external API. So for that we will use this UR API, so where we will implement sorting, pagination, and everything. So I'll just remove this for now, and so let me create one function. So what we will do here is, now I will have my base URL, of course, URL, that is my base URL is let's say this one, right? Let me just remove this, and I will use my $base URL here. So now to work with that, what we will do is, let me just create a response. We will use as facades, and then we can use the get, and in the get we need to pass the URL. So my URL will be base URL dot, and then the thing that I need here, sorry, I need to paste it here, right? So this is my, what am I doing? Okay, this is my URL. So if you see the get, the first thing we need to pass is the URL, and the second thing we need to pass is the query. So that is very important, which we will talk in a second. So now if response is not successful, right, what I want to do, I want to show the empty records. I don't want any kind of error to be here. Else meaning what I will return, I'll return response, or what I will return is, I will just return collect $response JSON. So now return, right? So I've just written my JSON format, right? If I refresh here, let's see if it works. Yeah, now I can see 1 2 3 the records from my websites. How to add custom action button on page filters, maybe. Yeah, this is the first record. So this is the very basic way of how we can show the data, but here we need to do a lot of things, right? So now filament gives us so before that, let me just add another columns. Let's say make slug, and after that let's say I will just show date, make date, right? So I just want to show these three columns for now: title, slug, and the date of published, right? Or let's say for the clarity, what I can do is label published at. Okay, so now I have these three things. Perfect. So if you see here, currently I don't have anything, right? I don't know how to use pagination or anything. So now what we can do is, so here we have the thing, we can pass the parameters queries from here. So for that you may have to give a little knowledge of the REST APIs of WordPress. So simply, if you if you want to fetch the number of records, so that will be on the basis of per page. Okay, one, let's say this is for number of records. So this is how the WordPress API is configured. Okay, so and then which page you want. So this is for page, no, right, sorry, page. So if I go see here, so if I am not refreshing yet, so if you see per page one record and page should be second page, right? So if you see here, first page must be this and second page must be this. So it means I need to get this record when I refresh it. Let me try. Yes, I get a single record, and then I get the page 2. So now what if now we want to use pagination, right? So pagination, for pagination it is very simple. We just need lengthware paginator. So if we don't have any data, what we can, I want to do is return new. I want to return lengthware paginator, right? So first is items will be 0, total will be 0, per page will be okay, I don't know for now, let's say 0. I will just discuss it in, and current page should be 0, let's suppose, right? This is if any response, we don't have any response. So now what if we need the data, or before that how we can get the current page, columns and everything? So we can always use this here. So string, okay, string $sort column. This is the column that determines which column we need to sort. Similarly, string $sort direction. This is how we can use that. And for the page we need page, and similarly for records per page we have records per page. So this is the how Filament has defined here. If you see here, we have sort column, So direction, right? And for pagination we have page and records per page. Perfect. So now instead of here, what I can do is per page means dollar records per page. If it's not defined, let's say I will just say 10, right? Page, so it should be page. If it's not defined, I'll say the first page, right? So now if I go here, now I need to see at least 10 pages. If I refresh here, now I at least get 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9 10 records per page, right? From here. So now how I can return this? So here what I will do is, before returning, I'll just want to map them so that it will be easier for me. Let me get map, and then let's say for one post, let's say it's the post, and then return. What I want to return is not arrow, ID, right? It should be post ID, of course. Let's say title, it should be post title. If its title is there, that's it. And then let's say slug, we are using slug, right? Dollar post slug. And similarly, let's say link, dollar post link. I'll just explain you why I am using link. If you see here, I have a link. Okay, link means the full URL of my page. So the reason is I will just create an action that will make me move to that page. So now I will just return here new length over paginator, and same the thing is here. Now the first parameter is items, which is obviously my items, or let's say post, right? And the next thing we need is, if you see here, you can see why I can't see. Okay, abstract paginator array access, yeah, here the total. So for the total, we will get that in header for WordPress. So that depends on your API. Suppose x wp total, I think, if I am not wrong. Okay, and then let me just add this first. And the third parameter we need is per page, that is our records per page. And the fourth parameter that we need is current page, that is our page here, right? We have still not used these sorting things. So if I go here and refresh, let's see, yeah, now we get, I have the total 38 results. Now I can see the pagination, and now I can really work with the pagination. But if you see here, I am not able to know is it loaded or not, right? So for that, what we can do is, in my blog, instead of directly showing here, let me just create one div, right? Download this table, and then I want to show this where we have loading dot remove when loading is not there. And for the next thing, that is for me, for the loading, you can always use x filament, x filament. I think loading indicator is there for us, and let's say class as 5 w5, anything you want to give, right? I need to reverse that. Okay, when I want to show this wire dot loading dot delay. Perfect. So when there is loading, I want to show the loading indicator. If there is no loading, I want to show the table. If I go to dashboard, WordPress blog, first time it will not show anything. Okay, it's showing here. If I go to 2, you can see it's loading. Okay, do I need to add this? Okay, I don't need to add that. Okay, it will be itself enough to do that. Perfect. Okay, no, I want this, but you can look at the design. I think there may be some mistakes here. Okay, so if I go to page 2, it will try to load, and then it will show the display result. Right. So now the next thing that we need to talk is about how we can load data, right? So that is very simple. We have an order by column, so we will use sort column for that, right? And then the next thing is sort direction, right? So for that we have a order, and that is sort direction. That's it. So if I go here and say text column make id, and let's say I will just make sortable with id to show you WordPress blog. Okay, I have id, right? 473 is in the top. If I try to do this, it will reload, and I get the id from 37. So this is how you can implement sorting. And similar same case goes for the searching. So when you are searching, obviously it will go with q parameters, and you can search that. Also, bonus points, I can just pass the fields which I want, like id, title, slug, link, right? So I just, it means that it will only fetch these fields from that WordPress API. So to show you that, suppose if I remove this slug, and let me just use default here, and let me refresh here, I will just get the default because the data is not fetched. So it may be also important because it has a lot of data, so which I don't need. So now how we can create actions, right? So for that we have record actions, sorry, and then array, and we'll create one action. Let's say view, and let's say icon. Icon is obviously enum based now, so let's say I want to use icon, and then of course I want to use URL, right? And I will get that record, and that record is in the array, so I will get these 4 things. So if I want to show you, then I can do redd record, and if I refresh here, you can see id, title, right, slug, and link. So now I need this link. Perfect. So what I can do is return, and then URL, the record, link, and I just want this to be, sorry, this is an array, so I need to pass this as attributes, and then I need to open this in URL in new tab, refresh. Now if I go here and click on view 3, yes, now I can go to that particular page directly. So this is how you can create and show the custom data. So if you want any new videos on specific part of filament, please let me know. And so for this I have not implemented the source part, so you can check the documentation and try that in your own. So you can also specifically check here response API searching and how you will get this, because obviously we will just get the source parameters like this, and it's only that difference how we are going to search, right? So hope you like this video. Thank you guys.